Holy moly, we're only in the quarantine for about 2 weeks, and 1/3 of Americans are missing their rent payment in April. Guys, it's like barely 2 weeks, and there's already 1/3 of American renters. I would say about 33% of American renters have already failed to pay rent for April. And the party had just started. It's only like 5 minutes into the party, and the party represents the shutdown. So imagine what's going to happen in an hour of the party. Imagine what's going to happen in 5 months, in 6 months, okay, when people don't have money, because the Fed, the central bankers, they've already done massive research, and they know that the average American has only $400 in their account. They posted it, they reported about it, and so they want everyone to suffer and get into debt. Now, that said, I'll get into this a little bit more. This creates a lot of opportunity. This is why I call it subject to heaven, because as you can see, as 1/3 of Americans that rent can't pay rent, well, 1/3 of home owners, right, are going to be getting into default, because some of these landlords are just as bad as the renters. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They have no money in reserve. Right? That's why I always say on my channel, for every property that I've owned, I would have $10,000 set aside for that property for vacancy repairs, each property. Okay, and after a certain amount of time, then that number gets less, because I'm having massive cash flow from all the properties. But the average landlord in America, if the renter is not paying, they can't pay. And what that's going to mean is subject to heaven. What that's going to mean is massive foreclosures. What that's going to mean is 2008 all over again, because there's going to be massive inventory of renters not paying rent, landlords defaulting. Okay, and then you add into all the other people that are defaulting because they don't have jobs, that actually own their own homes versus renting. And then you add into home builders defaulting or fire selling properties at a deep discount with 10-year warranties. Then you consider the people that have normal homes that try to sell their home and they can't. And then you consider the foreclosures, and you add all that up. There's going to be massive inventory, which is 2008 all over again, where the banks are going to have shadow foreclosures, which means that they have so much foreclosures on their books that if they dump it all at one time, they'll crash the market. So what they do, they spread it out every month, in smaller waves. So we're in a situation where I predicted in 2016 about subject to heaven, about the real estate market crash, about the stock market crash, and I hit it bullseye. And now, without this bug, it would have happened, but this bug has just accelerated this situation. Now think about it. In 2 weeks, so many people can't pay. What's going to happen in 4 weeks? What's going to happen in 8 weeks? Well, in 8 weeks, there's probably going to be 50%, 60% of renters that can't pay rent, right? So the owners, the investors, the owners, if they're investors or not, but whoever owns the property, they're going to be hurting, and they're going to go to default. And what's going to happen to all the people that own homes, right, next door to a rental house, that they've lost their jobs? Same thing's going to happen. They're going to go into default. Now, there's a lot of hype about, will the banks have a program? Will banks going to do something? No, ladies and gentlemen, the banks are in it for themselves. They've already got the bailouts from us, the last crash. They got the bailout in this crash in the repo market, what I was telling you guys about, screaming top of my lungs. And so the banks are not going to take it. Forbearance is just going to say, look, I'm not going to make payments on here, and you can put it at the end. Or I'm not going to make payments for 3 months, and then at the end of that term, I'll make all the payments all at once. Okay. Meanwhile, there's interest being recruited on the mortgage, and that seller or that borrower, same thing, is indebted to that amount no matter what happens outside in the real world. So today it looks like what they're trying to do is get a lot of people into debt by the actions that they're taking, And the beneficiary of this is going to be the bankers, is going to be, the bankers, and it's going to be the bankers and all the top elite. Because the elite, they'll just shed their companies, which means they'll fire more people, which will add into the typhoon of inventory for foreclosure. The small businesses, medium businesses, and the workers will just default, which will add into the massive foreclosure rate. And as you can see, we're going to be hitting into a massive foreclosure. Now, the HUD people said, well, we're going to back these loans. Any seller, any homeowner that has a HUD loan, FHA, VA, we're going to tell the banks to do this and we're going to tell them to do that. Well, I don't know if you guys remember, we had to bail out HUD, right, back into 2006. We had to bail out the subsidy of Big Brother that guarantees mortgages, right? Because if without that, majority of people wouldn't be able to own mortgages in America because majority of people don't have 20% down, right? So the reason so many people are able to get these FHA, VA loans is because of that subsidy corporation, which is the long reach of our government. Right, and they have it on paper that it's not the government, but it is basically the government. They just make it look a little different. But we had to bail those guys out, and and these guys are not going to have enough money to pay 33% of all the landlords. They're going to go bust, right? And so in reality, if it's a long term, like 3 months, 6 months, then even the government agency, if you want to call it, the body that insures these FHA loans and VA loans, they're going to go bust. Because remember, government is a parasite. They don't produce anything. They only take from us through taxation, and then they redistribute that poorly, I should say. They distribute really poorly to, services like building roads or, retirement or, pensions and stuff like that. And we can see they do that poorly. So the real estate crash is coming. Subject to heaven is here, as I predicted it. And in just 2 weeks, we've seen about 33% of Americans that can't pay rent. And 4 weeks to 8 weeks, we'll see massive more. And as more people get laid off, because this layoff is going to thrust the revolution for AIs, robots, online sales, and the real power of the internet. Now we're going to see the real power of internet because, for example, I've been doing all my business since 1999 on the internet, where people can book online. They could book my moving company. They could hire us as a real estate agent. They can list their house. I mean, everything online. But 99% or 90% of small companies in America are not capitalizing on that. But now we're seeing the move for that dramatically because you can't go to the store, so everyone's booking online. They're buying products online. And now it's going to be like mandatory. Even if you go to a park or if you go to X or Y, Z, the push is on for online, which is going to eliminate retail jobs. The push is on for AI, which is going to eliminate human workers. The push is on for robots. So this time, I think we're going to be I don't have a crystal ball, but I think this is going to be a hard struggle to come up. This is going to be a long-term suffering for, the working class Americans, the working class people around the world, because the noblemen and the kings are, going to give it to us real good, in a sense, for the name of profit, which is crazy. Now, I'm not even going to talk about that, but we can see what madness is happening. We can see, at least I can see all the opportunity. Now, if you're interested in cashing in on the opportunity like the bankers are going to, like those gangsters are, the banker gangsters are going to do, then I would consider two ideas. One idea is called the new flip. I just recently applied it. Just the other day, I found a seller that worked in a restaurant, and he's been off for 2 weeks and he doesn't have any money, so he's decided to sell me the new flip for $125. And in 29 minutes later, I sold that item, the new flip, for $375, $375. And, I made 300% 300% X on my money in 29 minutes. I don't know where I can do that in stocks, Bitcoin, gold, entrepreneurship. I don't know anywhere I can do that. And it only cost me $125 I had a risk. And because there's motivated sellers out there. And again, this seller worked in a restaurant, and the restaurant is closed, and they didn't have any money. And there's going to be a lot of other sellers all over America with the same exact problem of this seller that sold me the new flip. Now, if you're interested on turning $100 into $375, or turning $100 into $700, or $300 into $200, very, very quickly, with very, very, very low risk, then I would highly recommend downloading the new flip. Okay, at MrNoFluff.com. I'm actually having a flash sell on it right now. Normally, I sell the course for $1,000. Right now, you can get it for $138. And in this course, I teach you a manual. I teach you through video training, and I also teach you through the book. So you're getting a 3 combo into one. And it shows you the ins and outs of, starting a business with just $100 and getting 200 to 700% return off your $100 without no special tools, without a website, without all this fancy stuff that people think you need to have a business. And it's very, very profitable at MrNoFluff.com. The bad news is I had 50, now we're at 29. So once it runs out, the price is going to go back up. So the new flip is revolutionary. It's going to work really, really good in this economy. It's going to teach you about business. It's going to, teach you about how to maximize the economy and put cash into your pocket. Ladies and gentlemen, put cash into your pocket. Now, if you guys are interested in doing deals over the phone, like virtual wholesaling, then I would highly recommend downloading my virtual wholesaling course. I'm having a flash sale on that also for $257. And what this course teaches you is how to get deals real estate wise all over the phone, in the comfort of your home, in the quarantine, so you don't have to drive around and need a bunch of sellers, right? And you can get it all at MrNoFluff.com or at my real estate dojo. But it's no joke. There's massive, massive opportunity coming. The other thing I would highly recommend is downloading my owner financing for profits. I still have a sell on that. Let's see if I can find it right here. There it is, owner financing for profits. And this shows you and teaches you with many, many, many hours and hours and hours of training on how to buy houses in America, in many other countries, with finding motivated sellers, talking to motivated sellers, helping them, where the seller then in return becomes your own private bank, so you don't have to go borrow the money from a bank. Simple. If you're interested in having your seller be your bank, and why would they want to be your bank? Because 2020 is the biggest crash ever. There's so much inventory. You're going to be highly motivated. People have lost their jobs, and people can't make their payments. And therefore, there's a possibility that you or an investor can just step into the seller's shoes and just take over the payments if you know how to structure these deals, if you know how to talk to these sellers, if you know how to find these sellers and what to say and what not to say. And all that stuff is into the owner financing. It's $297. I sell it for $2,300. It's a 3-course combo. And again, you're not going to beat the value that I give you guys, because I want to give you more than you buy, so it changes your life, so that could be a significant in your life. Because I realized that, hey, life is not about accumulation. Life is not about getting on top of the next hill and the next hill. Life is about helping other people. Life is about being your dreams, and I am already my dreams, and I take great pleasure and honor and happiness and significance by helping other people to be their dreams. And that's why I do these videos for you guys. And that's why I downloaded my brain of 25 years of entrepreneur. Never had a job, never worked for the man, never had a resume, never borrowed money from a bank to start a business. And I've owned many different businesses. Some of them have made me millions of dollars per year, and all debt free. And I ended up just closing my stuff down. I didn't even sell it. I give majority of my stuff to the homeless, because I realized that there's more to accumulation. But in this economy, in this crash. This is a opportunity of once every 100 years. And therefore, these strategies are great to make a lot of money in this, because I understand that not everyone wants to be a minimalist, and I'm totally fine with that. I'm not going to judge anyone if someone wants to have $10 million a month coming in, okay? So with these tools, you're able to do these kind of things because you're talking to a guy that had never had a job and it's always been his dream. Listen to his heart, and I'm sharing exactly what I've done to be my dreams. And today my dream is to be a public speaker and to change people's lives, and I'm doing it right now. And I want to help you be your dreams. That's my calling. Every day I get up, I do these videos for you guys because I want to encourage you to listen to your heart and be your dreams. If it's real estate, if it's the new flip, if it's writing books, if it's to start a business, start a moving company, start a brokerage firm, whatever the story is, buy your first rental, buy your apartment complex, do your first fix and flip, whatever it is, I want you to have it. That's why I do what I do. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. And remember, tough times are coming, but there are also massive opportunities ahead of us. Peace.